You start a question, and it's like starting a stone. You sit quietly on the top of a hill, and away the stone goes, starting others. There comes an end to all things, the most capacious measure is filled at last, and this brief condescension to evil finally destroyed the balance of my soul. All human beings, as we meet them, are commingled out of good and evil, and Edward Hyde, alone, in the ranks of mankind, was pure evil. His affections, like ivy, were the growth of time. They implied no aptness in the object. The less I understood of this farrago, the less I was in a position to judge of its importance. She had an evil face, smoothed by hypocrisy, but her manners were excellent. Jekyll had more than a father's interest, Hyde had more than a son's indifference. I incline to Cain's heresy. He used to say quaintly, "I let my brother go to the devil in his own way." Oh, my poor old Harry Jekyll, if ever I read Satan's signature upon a face, it is on that of your new friend. To cast in it with Hyde was to die 1,000 interests and aspirations. If it comes to swinging, swing all, say I. I remember him looking round the cover and whistling to himself as he did so, and then breaking out in that old sea song that he sang so often afterwards, 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. My father was always saying the inn would be ruined, for people would soon cease coming there to be tyrannized over and put down, and sent shivering to their beds, but I really believe his presence did us good. People were frightened at the time, but on looking back they rather liked it. It was a fine excitement in a quiet country life. Dead men don't bite. There's never a man looked me between the eyes and seen a good day afterwards. We must go on, because we can't turn back. It is one thing to mortify curiosity, another to conquer it. With every day, and from both sides of my intelligence, the moral and the intellectual, I thus drew steadily nearer to the truth, by whose partial discovery I have been doomed to such a dreadful shipwreck, that man is not truly one, but truly two. You must suffer me to go my own dark way. If he be Mr. Hyde, he had thought, I shall be Mr. Seek. If I am the chief of sinners, I am the chief of sufferers also. I learned to recognize the thorough and primitive duality of man. I saw that, of the two natures that contended in the field of my consciousness, even if I could rightly be said to be either, it was only because I was radically both. I sometimes think if we knew all, we should be more glad to get away. Some day, after I am dead, you may perhaps come to learn the right and wrong of this. I cannot tell you. Here then, as I lay down the pen and proceed to seal up my confession, I bring the life of that unhappy Henry Jekyll to an end. It was for 1 minute that I saw him, but the hair stood upon my head like quills. Sir, if that was my master, why had he a mask upon his face? I like that boy, now, I never seen a better boy than that. He's more a man than any pair of rats of you in this here house, and what I say is this: let me see him that'll lay a hand on him. That's what I say, and you may lay to it. I've sailed the seas and seen good and bad, better and worse, fair weather and foul, provisions running out, knives going, and what not. Well, now I tell you, I never seen good come o' goodness yet. Him as strikes first is my fancy, dead men don't bite, theme's my views, amen, so be it. I'm caps here because I'm the best man by a long sea mile. This grove that was now so peaceful must then have rung with cries, I thought, and even with the thought I could believe I heard it ringing still. Seaward, ho! Hang the treasure! It's the glory of the sea that has turned my head. If you keep on drinking rum, the world will soon be quit of a very dirty scoundrel. How many it had cost in the amassing, what blood and sorrow, what good ships scuttled on the deep, what brave men walking the plank blindfold. What shot of cannon, what shame and lies and cruelty, perhaps no man alive could tell. Then it was that there came into my head the first of the mad notions that contributed so much to save our lives. Sir, with no intention to take offense, I deny your right to put words into my mouth. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Between Silver and myself we got together in a few days a company of the toughest old salts imaginable, not pretty to look at, but fellows, by their faces, of the most indomitable spirit. The captain has said too much or he has said too little, and I'm bound to say that I require an explanation of his words. We are all travelers in the wilderness of this world, and the best we can find in our travels is an honest friend. Go, little book, and wish to all flowers in the garden, meet in the hall. Our business in life is not to succeed, but to continue to fail in good spirits. My tea is nearly ready and the sun has left the sky. It's time to take the window to see Learier going by. There is no duty we so much underrate as the duty of being happy. From breakfast on through all the day at home among my friends I stay, but every night I go abroad afar into the land of Nod. In winter I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way, I have to go to bed by day. My house, I say. But hark to the sunny doves that make my roof the arena of their loves, that gyre about the gable all day long and fill the chimneys with their murmurers' song. I would almost say that we are indispensable, and no man is useless while he has a friend. Give to me the life I love, let the lave go by me. Late lies the wintry sun abed, a frosty, fiery sleepy head, blinks but an hour or two, and then, a blood-red orange, sets again. Boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. To know what you prefer instead of humbly saying amen to what the world tells you you ought to prefer, is to have kept your soul alive. How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Great is the sun, and wide he goes through empty heaven with repose. Such is the place that I live in, bleak without and bare within.